So, hi everyone, it's Liam Ryan here, your host of the Dealmaker podcast. Great to be tuning in with you. And again, thanks very much for listening to these podcasts. The feedback that I've been getting from the podcast has been outstanding. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, I thought as I have just got married, it would be a great time to talk about how it feels like being married, but also the importance of having the support of the loved ones that you currently have in your life. And just to let you know, my wedding day went absolutely fantastically well. It really was one of the best days of my life. I was super excited, and some of you know me really well. I'm a bit of a crybaby, and I certainly had a few tears, that's for sure. But I remember just thinking to myself when my wife-to-be, Holly, was walking down the aisle, and I thought to myself, I am one lucky man because I have the full support of who is now my wife, Holly, in relation to building business, growing our vision, working on our brand. And I know for some of you, that's not quite the case. And maybe you've got some issues with your loved ones, maybe your husbands, your wife, your partners, even people like your children, your brothers, sisters, mums, dads, daughters, uncles, aunties. Maybe you've got this thing inside of you where you want to go and grow a business. You really want to get involved with property, but perhaps they are holding you back. And maybe their own fears, their own judgments on you are not allowing you to really push forward and become the business owner, entrepreneur, property developer that you really want to be. Now, I get it with family members. They are there to look out for us. But what a lot of people do, and maybe you've experienced this, is they put their own baggage onto you. And by doing so, because you don't want to upset anybody, or because you're scared of what your family members or your husband or wife or partner is going to think, you just start living their life rather than living your own life. Now, I feel it's really important where possible to have the help and support from the entire family. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about cousins and aunties and uncles, but certainly your partner, your husband, your wife, your children. It's really important that they have a very firm understanding of where you are now as a family unit, and more importantly, where it is you want to be going over the next 12, 24, 36 months, 5 years and 10 years. How do you do this? Well, it's really important that you are honest with what you want to do as a person, because it's absolutely okay for you to live your own life and for you to go and live the life of your dreams, and for you to go and do the things you want to do so you can create massive wealth for yourself and for your families and your children, and ultimately for you to be fully fulfilled inside yourself. So something which I've always done is I'll always speak to my now wife, Holly, and I'll just always say, hey, look, honey. Maybe I don't call her honey, but can we have a sit down? I just want to let you know what's going on at the moment. I want to talk to you about where we are and where we're going in the future, and just to let you know really what's involved. And when you become a business owner and an entrepreneur and you get involved in property, in order to build a multi-million-pound business that's going to give you a lot of cash, you've got to make sacrifices. And sometimes you've got to be burning the midnight oil. You've got to roll your sleeves up at weekends. You've got to make sacrifices for your children and your loved ones. But as long as they understand why you're doing it and the fact that it's going to have a positive impact on them, then hopefully they can buy into your vision. Really important to be talking about vision, with your loved ones and your children, so they also support you in what you are doing. And by having the support of your loved ones, that's going to give you more confidence, that's going to make you a lot happier, and that's going to enable you to have what I call free reign over your business. So if you've got to make sacrifices, if you've got to go and have investor meetings at 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, if you've got to go out and do some networking once or twice a week, if you've got to put yourself in a position where you're out viewing properties on a Saturday and Sunday, then the family support you in doing that. Now, I'm not saying that every single second of every single day you've got to be working on your business, because that wouldn't be smart. What you've got to do is you've got to get a balance between your home life and your business life. And I'm so lucky that Holly, now my wife, fully supports me in what we do at Assets for Life. Like, she gets it, she understands, but she also sees the benefits, because she sees that I'm really happy, she sees that I enjoy what I do, she understands that everything I do is for her, our little daughter Ivy, and of course my other two children, Ida and Charlie. So they get it and they understand, and by doing so they really encourage me. Now, here are some things that I would do if you're in a situation where you do not have the support of your partners, your children's, your close family members. The reality is, I would do my stuff anyway. And maybe they would have to just see the results before they start supporting you. Because the reality is, you need to be obsessed with success. You need to want to build a business more than you've ever wanted to do anything. If you want to make a lot of money, you've got to be thinking about money a lot of the time. Like, it has to be at the forefront of your mind. And when you step over that line from being an employee, and maybe you're an employee at the moment, to becoming an entrepreneur business owner, there's sacrifices that need to be made, and you need to be more driven than you've ever been driven. You need to make a pledge to you and your family members that you will make this a massive success no matter what. But not everyone in your family is going to like or support in what you do. You know what I say? You've got to do it anyway, because what happens if you don't? You will become spiritually bankrupt. You will end up working for someone else for the next 30, 40, 50 years. You will end up living their life rather than your own life. And ultimately, you are the one that loses out. And the reality is, look, as harsh as this may sound, if Holly really didn't support me, then there would come a point in our relationship where we would no longer be together. You know, that's the way it is, because whoever's going to be with me needs to understand what I'm like. But I make it a win-win, and that's what you've got to do in business. You've got to make it a win-win. So I'm now a few weeks married, and it's been absolutely fantastic. We're going away to Marbella in a couple of days for the next 4.5 weeks. And that's what I really love about business and property, is you can create a mobile lifestyle business where you can operate and build a multi-million-pound property portfolio literally anywhere in the world. If you've got a good team, a good power team, you've got maybe a business partner, you've got a personal assistant, you've got people in the office that can ultimately run things for you. And again, that's a process that takes a little bit of time. But I'm going to be in Marbella for 4.5 weeks. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great to run the business. It's going to give me some headspace to work on my PowerPoint slides, create some new content for Q4 of this year. And of course, in property, we've got a whole power team in place, which I'll do a podcast on that very soon. But communication, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely key when talking to your family members. Let them know what you're doing, why you're doing that, and the benefits that that's going to have on you and the family as a whole. But look, stop living someone else's life. Live your life, live your dreams. You want to become a property investor developer? You go for it. You want to become a business owner? You've got to go for it. You've got to dig deep, roll your sleeves up, work hard so you don't have to work hard, and start creating an amazing business. I hope you found this session of the podcast useful, and stay tuned for more sessions. Thanks very much.